Bitch better have my money.
And Opie, thank you too. Off air, you said you will invite me to your wedding. I appreciate it.
Of course I would. There was never a doubt. But then Patrice goes, well, if you invite me, I guess I got to go.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
But then at that point,
I just didn't think. I just thought it'd be a way not to invite a lot of people because it'll just be too many. I think you got in your life, and I didn't think I would be squeezing into that too many. I would imagine Norton, Anthony would be invited, all the family people.
Mm-hmm. There's people in this room.
Club Sona Kinney.
There's people in this room that aren't going to be invited.
Right. I don't think. I wouldn't think E-Rock. This is my personal feelings. I wouldn't think E-Rock.
Wow.
I wouldn't think any of the guys. Not Fan.
Who?
I don't think Poe. I don't think you would invited Poe. I'm just Steve. I'm not even sure, but I think Steve would have to get an invite. But he can only bring himself and a date that you knew.
Which would count as 2 invites in a way, like to get...
Yes, somebody he knew. Like, you have to approve who he's bringing.
What about Stunt Brain?
No, because he's too new.
Yeah,
not a chance in hell because he's too new.
Yeah, I just don't think it would have happened.
It would just be awkward.
You know what?
Fan
Also, you haven't
if Fan was still here.
You haven't seen him out drinking yet, which is bad because you can invite him and he's a nice enough guy and everything, but he might be the angriest, nastiest drunk.
Right.
And then you get him to the wedding and all of a sudden he's just an ass and ruins everything.
Yeah, he turns into Dustin Hoffman at the end of The Graduate.
I didn't think any peripheral comedians other than Norton. I didn't think we're getting.
Opie? No, Opie would.
I'm just saying what I just saying.
He would worry, man. Bob Kelly will get the invite. Louis C.K. Voss.
Louis on the bubble.
On the bubble. Boss would have to get an invite.
Of course, because he would commit suicide. Why wasn't I invited?
And then that means Bonnie's got an invite.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's Voss plus
now,
1.
do you see now what you're doing right now, what you just did with Bonnie?
Yeah.
Is what I was thinking. It would just be a very, very, very close wedding. Just because of that. Just because, if you invite him, you got to invite him. If you invite this one, and, if you invite that one, you got to, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm thinking that he wasn't going to do that, just to save himself all of that.
No, know what you do? You put out a lot of last-minute invites.
Oh, God. So people already have plans.
Oh, I got this figured out.
Well, Voss didn't invite any of us. He didn't invite his quote-unquote, his close friends.
Voss makes $24,000 a year. he didn't want to have a big wedding. He had it in a hunting lodge.
But let me be fair.
Yeah, but what was wrong with Voss? He didn't invite us to the wedding, which was in the middle of nowhere in Canada. Yeah. Jimmy went. But then he invites us to Caroline's, the comedy club here in New York. And he gets insulted because no one went because we thought it was just him doing, what he usually does. But it was supposedly a huge reception for his friends.
He wanted the actual traditional benefits.
He's still holding a grudge. Get him on the phone.
He wanted the traditional benefits without treating you as the friend that you get those benefits from.
He wanted the presents.
So he says, go to the wedding thing at Lord and Taylor and get my stuff.
Yeah.
But you're not a friend to be at the wedding.
It's called a registry.
Now, Bobby did a genius thing, which is what we are, the comics. You're afraid of the rejection. So you found a way for people to be there or not be there, and you don't know it. We had that wedding on the internet.
He had the wedding on the internet.
Genius to have it in a place where people, he didn't want to force people. He go, hey, listen, I'd like you to come to my wedding in Hawaii. And people go, oh, my God,
why?
No.
I can't do that.
So when he did it on the internet, it was genius, dude. I thought it was genius.
Well, he's able to be in paradise, and then he makes everybody else watch on their computer screen.
He didn't invite me one time to a barbecue because he thought I wouldn't go.
Yeah, I just not thinking you
just don't want your black friends to see that you hang out with.
Dude, I have cookouts and there's nothing but crackers. It looks like.
And invite me. I would go to one of your cookouts.
Cracker cookout.
It looks like a secret meeting of.
We're trying to be your friend.
I look like a butler at my own house. I have nothing but white friends. All my black friends in Boston. I have a few black comic friends like Keith and there's a couple of everybody else is white, but I would not think you would come.
Yeah, I was insulted.
And that's the only reason I
was also insulted because there was something else, and Patrice goes, well, I didn't invite you because I didn't think you would come. I'm like, of course I would go. We're trying to be your friend.
Dude.
Invite us to stuff. You'll be surprised. We'll show up.
We have been promising to eat some type of lunch together
for years
since '96.
The staff is still waiting for their lunch when we came back on. The interns.
You know what? Patrice makes a good point. Really fast. Across from XM, there's a place that used to be called Shelley's Steakhouse.
Yeah.
And Patrice and I and a few, I believe our ladies were there and a few other people after one of your Saturday night radio shows. We went and had a great dinner, a late night steak dinner. We had a wonderful time. And I remember even saying to Patrice, we got to do this more often. Let me tell you what has happened since that dinner.
What more often?
Shelley's Steakhouse moved a block or two away, and in its place is a brand new 20-story building. That's how long it's been since we ate. Am I lying?
No.
And it's occupied.
Am I lying?
No.
They're just about done. The crane is about to be dismantled because they are done with this building, and that was the last time we ate, when it used to be a tiny little steak joint. Like a 2-3-story building.
It's just when you invite somebody, you want them to come. You know, you just go. It's embarrassing if people don't show up at something.
Here's Rich Voss. Listen to this, Voss.
Hey, what's going on?
Well, we're talking about weddings and stuff, and I pointed out that you're still holding a grudge because we didn't go to Caroline's.
No, whoa. I don't really hold a grudge now about that.
Don't really hold a grudge.
What's a grudge?
A grudge.
Grudge.
The wedding gifts. I'm still upset about.
Yeah,
he's heard about that.
Well,
and
you know
he does
something?
not understand why.
It's a give and take thing. You have to give the people.
He doesn't understand why.
You have to give the people some entertainment and the ability to be there. Shut up a minute. Shut up. And the ability to be at your wedding. You wanted to have your wedding alone in some hunting lodge up in Canada, and then come back down here and expect the scene from Goodfellas where they're all handing over the envelopes. It doesn't work that way.
He don't understand. That's the only reason. We didn't even know what it. How can I think this is a traditional reception when the wedding and the reception happen? You go, hey, you bum, you can't come to the wedding.
Yeah.
But please come to the thing where you owe me something.
Right.
No. Here's the deal. You know what? Because first of all, you're so close-minded and so self-centered. You don't listen.
We've been arguing this thing with him for
but here's
a couple of years now.
He doesn't understand that.
Let me finish.
No one knew.
Voss. It's me, Opie. Listen to me.
The hero.
First of all, I probably would have went to your wedding because I wasn't doing anything else in the middle of Canada.
Oh, gee.
I probably would have taken that trip just because I haven't.
Backhanded compliment that is.
Because I haven't seen that part of Canada.
A platypus anyway.
Right, exactly, and a Mountie. So I probably would have went with Jimmy. To be completely honest with you, I was flying around the country with Jimmy all the time. What the hell? I would have went to your wedding. But what the mistake you made, which Anthony is bringing up, you didn't invite anyone to the wedding. You didn't have a traditional reception. All of a sudden, you kind of casually invite us to go to Caroline's. I'm like, he's at Caroline's 3 days a week. So, you know, what's different about this?
And he didn't call it a reception.
Thank you. You never explained that this was a special Caroline's thing where you actually rolled out a red carpet and stuff. We didn't know, so no one showed up. And to this day, Voss is holding a grudge.
We thought it was a party for the people he didn't invite. Like, that's what would have made everybody understand, okay, look, he was in Canada, okay. We thought it was a regular party for people that he told not to come. But he held an official reception.
All you have to do is, why don't you say, if you say something like, okay, you had the right intentions, but it didn't come out the way it was supposed to.
That's what we said to you for years now.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, because I had the intentions. I didn't want to make, like I said, and I'll say it again, I didn't want to make people fly all. Why do you think we had a...
Bonnie didn't want... Here's another thing I want you to be honest about. Bonnie didn't want us there. Bonnie didn't want us ruining her Canadian wedding, man.
You know what? You're so full of shit. You know what?
Hey!
Oh, sorry.
I'm just saying, I know... Come on, man.
Shut your
cursing and everything.
Shut up and let me
this
talk.
is real for Voss.
Okay.
This is real. Go ahead, Rich.
No, listen. I had the right intentions that I didn't want people to fly all over the place. Why would I have a party in L.A. and one in New York? Let's say everybody did go to the wedding and I invited them. Why would I still have a party?
One in L.A. and one in New York.
And New York.
Why would you have a party? Why would you have a party in L.A.? Why would you have a party in L.A.? Do you see where I'm going to go with this?
I don't care where you're going to go.
All right, where I'm going to go is your friends are not in L.A.
I didn't have friends here. Gullip wasn't in L.A.
Gullip? Who's that? What?
Now you got somebody who's my friend.
I don't even. You're naming guys who was in the first comedy strike.
The comedy strike of '79. Didn't one of those guys jump off the Hyatt Hotel? He didn't get his way.
Patrice.
Look it up. That's a great story. Boss.
Wait, no.
The mistake you made. You didn't make it clear that this was a reception. You're like, we're thinking of just getting together at Caroline's. I'm like, I'll catch him next time he's at Caroline's.
I also have. Here's the thing. I have the invitations I sent out that look exactly like any other. I made a mistake. By going there and doing it. That was a mistake I made because it still cost me a lot of money.
And I didn't get an invitation. I heard Voss was having a thing at Caroline's.
No, you didn't. You got an invitation.
I don't remember an invitation. I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
I swear, Rich. I'm not trying to make some fun radio here. I really don't remember.
But wait, but here's the thing. I forgot about this. I let this go a long time ago.
All right. How many people ended up showing up at Caroline's here in New York for your quote reception?
Over 100.
I just have to say what Steve from Bayshore is calling them.
What?
Bonnie and Claude.
Steve.
Over 100?
Oh, that's funny.
All right.
I couldn't make the reception, but, All
right, who didn't make the reception? I didn't, Jimmy didn't, Patrice didn't, who else?
Jimmy was taping Lucky Louie, but he came to the party in L.A.
But I also was the best man and flew myself...
I know.
A 9-hour flight.
To Saskatchewan.
A 9-hour flight. A moose picked me up at the airport.
So what I'm saying is,
they got their wedding pictures taken at a rest area.
It was awful.
What is that about?
Here's the thing. You see
just wanted to feel comfortable, huh, Rich?
You see the resentment that Jimmy has for flying that far. Now, if I invited everybody, I would have 100 people go. I would have 100 people go. Oh, we flew, whatever.
I'm not resentment.
But that's how we are, though, Voss. Come on, you being angry right now. This is me and this conversation came about Voss because me and Opie was talking about coming to his wedding, and I said, look, the way we all operate, I didn't think he was going to invite me to the wedding.
Who?
Opie. And I started naming who I didn't think he would invite. I thought it would just be too big of a thing, and he would invite just very, very close people. And I didn't think any of the comics, other than Norton from the show, would get invited. So your name came up, and then this thing.
Well, Voss is going to get an invite. It might be a little late, but he's going to get one.
What do you mean a little late? What does that mean?
I'm getting my list together. It's taken longer than I thought.
Oh, brother. You're cutting back on expenses?
No. It's a joke that goes back a few minutes.
A few minutes. It goes way back a couple of minutes.
No, I figured out how to get out of an uncomfortable situation because there are a lot of people you feel like you need to invite, but you don't really want to be at the wedding. So what you do is you make sure they get their invite very late in the game. Mm-hmm. And then they end up calling you, and they feel guilty, like, oh, my God, but I have a trip planned to Disney. Maybe 2 weeks out.
Why don't you get one?
That's late?
Yeah.
2 weeks out. Yeah.
For your white friends, for Patrice, would be like, I don't plan that far in advance.
I thought I was thinking more 3 days.
Well, you don't understand is because you're Opie, people will just cancel their plans unless they absolutely
All right, then
can't.
It's got to be like 5 days
That's
out.
true. Why don't you just drop them off on the way to the church?
Yeah, call them that morning.
I want the awkward call where I just got the invite, and then I go, that's weird. I sent that out months ago. What happened?
And then they go, fans find out where the wedding is.
And then they go, well, it's only 5 days from now, and I don't know how to tell you this, but there's no way I'm going to make it. And then I have to make believe I care. Like, man, I understand. It's cool. Don't worry.
So I would have understood. That's why I'm not saying it like I would have understood not getting invited. I understood not getting invited to Voss's wedding. I just didn't appreciate the anger he had about this reception.
He was extremely angry at everybody.
That I did not know was a reception.
Patrice, do you really think you would have flown up to Edmonton, Canada, on a...
No, that's why I said I'm not upset that you didn't invite me to the wedding, Voss. I'm really not. I'm just upset.
But you shouldn't be upset that we didn't know it was a reception.
Right. I'm upset that you got traditional...
I think it's
on the second half of the situation.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? A lot of people have wedding parties, and when people don't go to the weddings, you think
I don't know that, man.
What?
That's
a lot of people have a wedding and a reception.
You know why you don't know that? Because you're too selfish and self-centered to do any research.
Who researches these things?
What does that mean?
What are you going to Google wedding possibilities? Yeah, what do you want us, who does that?
What do you want us to spend some time on Wikipedia looking up wedding crap? What are you talking
How
about?
dare this boob tell me that I'm too selfish to learn about weddings? I don't care.
What? When was the last time anyone learned about weddings?
You got married in Canada. That's not selfish?
No,
you couldn't get married in Connecticut? I could have drove there?
Or at least Buffalo? Keep it kind
Yeah,
of.
Why Canada?
Why Canada?
Why would I? You know what? You're right. I should have had her whole family move to the States.
What about your side of the situation, Voss?
My family? I don't have that big of a family.
Where your family, Voss?
What's that?
Where your family?
Oh, that really hurts to think that you guys are my family.
We are your family.
Yeah, we are. This is all you got, man.
We're all you got.
This is it.
We love you,
really?
Voss.
Yeah. This is it. This is it.
I have no comeback for this.
Isn't that great? We're now, this is exactly it, talking a man into suicide today.
Another thing I want to bring up to Anthony and Norton, if you go to the message boards, about, they're giving me college tips for my daughter. One, I realized neither of you went to college.
What's a college ship?
College tips.
Tips.
Oh, tips. I
What
thought
do you
there was
say?
like some kind of cruise ship for college kids.
College tips, I said.
Yeah. College tips.
College tips.
And realizing that neither one of us went to college, yes. Or have kids.
A lot of people agreeing with Voss's philosophy, because Voss wants to have his kid go to community college for a couple of years, then maybe go to a huge university.
He wants to save a few bucks.
Exactly.
Well, with tuition how it is, it's hard to beat him up about
Why
it.
don't you just say your kids are going to the 13th and 14th grade?
Yep.
That's what I said.
That's it.
Community college is failure.
Because you have to have a kid or have gone to college to know what's good for...
Well, to make decisions and stuff like
What's
that.
a decision?
Oh, wow.
You're falling apart.
Does your tongue swell up at night when you sleep, Voss?
No.
Put some ice on it. Voss has a anterior cruciate ligament tear in his mouth.
What did he say?
I said,
Are you
Dick chicken.
are you sucking on salt?
my phone is screwed.
Where, in your mouth? You're supposed to hold it to your ear. You don't put the whole phone in your mouth and talk, Rich.
His phone's only good to 30 fathoms. It's already soaking wet.
Oh, he has a rotator cuff injury in his inside of his mouth. Yes, get your thing together, boss.
Yeah, we don't care. If you can send her where you want, because she wanted to go to a bigger college, but Rich talked to her in a community college.
And why did you do that? See, who does that? Who talks their kid into a 2-year nonsense college?
I hate to tell you, though, it's logical, because tuition is ridiculous. People are getting bankrupt over trying to send their kids to, huge universities.
Personally, I think college is a waste of your time.
Holla!
That's only one.
That's what I say.
All it ever did was mess up my credit, and it does nothing. All it does is teach people how to have credit problems, and it teaches people of different ethnic groups how to sleep with each other like that would have never been able to.
Oh, good.
A Mongolian and a Jamaican.
You know what?
That's what they met in college. That's about it.
It's a hell of a party, though, for 4 years, 5 years.
It's nonsense. I think most people. You know what college teaches people? How to work for other people. It doesn't teach. It destroys dreams. If you have any dream, like anybody in here right now, if they went to college, or if you talk to somebody that thought about college, you would not be doing what you're doing. If you go, hey, listen, I want to be a successful radio person. Somebody would go, you're a jerk. Go to college. But college does not do anything to help you better yourself.
No.
Nothing.
Well, because I think a lot of people, they just assume, well, if I go to college, that's all I have to worry about. I'll be successful.
Then you get out of college and someone's waiting there to give you a job and everything.
That's the first step. Then you have to, when you're in college, really.
Then you got to work for the college.
Yes.
$50,000 or $75,000 you got to pay back. Essentially you're going to work for the college for the next 10 years.
You're a hoe for the college.
Not taking back.
They're pimping you out all over the place.
Yeah, sit in the community college.
They always try to get me to go back to Geneseo because, I've been quite successful and they have a communications program up there. They want me to go back and talk. I'm like, no, you guys did nothing for me.
Nothing.
They really didn't do anything for me.
I don't even get that alumni.
The best I got was they happen to have a radio station, and I spent all my time at the radio station. I didn't learn this in school. I didn't learn this in class.
You should say that. With that tone, you should just total disdain.
I told the story yesterday. I was going to fail out, so I went to my communications professor, and I said, look, you got to give me a higher grade or I'm flunking out. He goes, maybe this isn't what you're going to be doing with your life. Maybe you're not cut out to do this. I'm like, oh, thanks a lot, you ass. And then I reminded him of what happened to his daughter at the fraternity house a few years back. And then I went on to another professor, and he gave me the grade that I needed, and I was able to continue my college career so I could work at the radio station, which leads to what I'm doing today. Not the classroom crap,
And
though.
the fact is, you got all your on-job training on the job. You learned doing what you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. College stinks.
I went to one semester. I got a B and 3 Fs.
Did you really?
Yeah, but I dropped out of high school because of rehab, so I didn't have a high school diploma. So I was taking college/high school credits. In college, I took biology. I took biology, Western civilization, problems, and statistics, and some sort of English course. I got a B in English, and then I failed miserably at everything else.
Everything else?
All right.
I went to real estate school and fell asleep the first day in class. And was like snoring and drooling on the desk.
Real estate school.
Who would buy anything from you?
Yeah. Want to buy a dryer door?
Boss, how long have you been married now?
2 years, right?
Over 2 years. September will be 3 years.
I'm thinking of getting you a wedding present. What should I get you?
I thought you were going to hang up right now.
No,
he's asking.
What do you need?
I don't know, tuition for my daughter to go to college. I don't need any.
Wait, is she graduating this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted to go to school, but boss talked about it.
How in God's name did that happen? She was like this little goofy girl last year.
That's what happens to them goofy girls.
They grow up.
And Voss is amazing. He has a 25-year-old and a 1-year-old. It's amazing. I think that is just you're a freak of nature, man. A science project.
Yeah, you're finally getting them out of the house and you're starting over. I don't get that concept. Don't you want to get to the point where they're all out of the house? Why would you go back in time? You basically go back in time.
Mm-hmm. They're out of the house.
You turn your 18. I know, but you turn your 18-year-old into a newborn. That doesn't make sense.
You were finally ready to just not have to deal with anything with children anymore.
And now you start it all over.
It's called love.
Hey, Voss, where are you going to be tonight? Where are you going to be tonight? Because we got a break.
Tommy Cove, Springfield.
I'm not hanging up on you. I don't do that with plugs.
He did get it out quick, though. I'll give him that.
Springfield, New Jersey. What's the club?
Comedy Cove.
Comedy Cove tonight with Rich Voss, who's terrific to see.
For real, I really don't have any resentment or anger towards this whole wedding thing anymore. I made a mistake.
It was a complete misunderstanding.
He had resentment and anger?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, he came in here on fire one day, yelling and screaming. I'm like, well, chill, dude. We didn't even know it was a reception.
You're not the only one that made a mistake. I made a mistake. I went.
It wasn't. It was kind of fun.
It was, actually.
Look, here's the deal. You assume too much because I would have went to your wedding. You know, I think people don't want to ask people to go to their wedding because they don't want to put them in that position. But that's what I was telling Patrice that started this whole thing. I'm like, of course you're going to get an invite. But if you call me and go, I don't really feel like going or it's not my place, I would be totally cool with that. That's fine. But I do want you there. I'm not
to
just
RSVP. I don't know. Let me tell you how detached I am from it in terms of that. I don't even know how to feel for you at a wedding. Like, I don't.
No one in this room knows how to feel.
I don't know what. Somebody has to tell me how to feel at a wedding.
I guarantee we can line up and put our hands on that hot plate over there, and not one of us will scream.
We just don't feel anything.
No one feels in this room.
Am I going to be like, hey man, I'm so happy? Like,
yeah, you're supposed to be like happy for people. You're supposed to get caught up in the joyous moment of their happiness and love, and then at the receiving line at the end when you're shaking hands with the family, and you're supposed to actually say congratulations and really feel it. Patrice is making this cringe face.
But I innately don't support marriage for the guy's point of view. Meaning, if I saw you get married, I'd be like, boy, one soldier down. And I just think it's for the woman. I'm usually not going to be her friend, so you're more happy for her. You would need to be more happy for her than the man, but I could care less about, you know what I mean? Like, if I marry my girl, it's really going to be. So here you go.
But you're looking at the whole thing very cynically. You're not looking at it in terms of love, two people sharing a life. Believe me, I ain't either. But, that's how it is.
Depends on the relationship.
I don't mean with you personally. I'm not talking about you.
No,
I'm talking about general overall
Anthony,
percentage.
I'm telling you to shut up because you're heading this way.
What?
Yeah. Yes.
What? It is whirlwind, Jack. It is a 6.8.
Who are you kidding? This isn't 2007.
Huh?
I would believe every word you're saying.
What?
You're in a whole different world, my friend.
What did I do?
You're heading toward the altar. Something you said you would never do again.
Why can't two people...
Look, I don't want to put the pressure on you.
Two movies in mind.
I don't
My Big Fat Wop Wedding and Knocked Up. And Knocked Up is the first feature. Knocked Up followed by My Big Fat Wop Wedding.
I had to stop you because all I'm saying is let's talk in early fall.
Early fall?
Yeah, we're only 24 days into Anthelini, but something is going on with you.
A lot of bets going on out there.
Really?
Yeah, there's something going on with you and Jill that is confusing the hell out of how you think.
It depends on the couple.
Friend.
Like I'm actually happy for Opener's girl because they get along. Like they're 4 years. I mean, it's not a pressure thing. It's like this is what.
That's what I'm saying.
Go.
Marriage. I mean, I guess he wants to get married. Like you gotta want to get married, but it's. Like, if I marry my girl, it really is for her. Like, almost 99.9%.
You're not saying anything crazy, though. I think.
Like, it's
I
like,
think girls
here, you went through what you've gone through. Here you go. Here's your stripe.
But you're not saying...
Stripe, yeah.
You're not saying anything crazy. I think girls, since they're very, very little, it's all about their wedding day. As a guy growing up, did you ever have a discussion with your dad about ever getting married or any of that stuff?
You don't have a discussion about love.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but as much as you're against it, you should be for it. You should be neutral. What's the big deal whether you do or don't?
Because she takes...
Look,
it's just she's in your life. It's official,
Patrice,
and it's hard to get her out. Like, you can't just say leave.
Patrice, if you go to...
no consequence.
If you go to my wedding, you're going to see that's a little different. It's going to be, certainly a celebration, but we're going to have fun. We're going to have a party.
Are you reading your own vows?
Uh-oh.
That's kind of hack.
I mean,
to be honest
yeah,
with you.
but that's what a wedding is. I do. Why not just get married why not get married just people and God? What happened to that?
That would be cool.
Yeah,
on a beach somewhere.
Like Braveheart. Just go out in the woods.
Yeah, do it how Spencer Christian did it to the Tahitian girl when he was hiding from
Mr.
Captain Bligh. Marry her under a burning tree.
You guys attacked Bobby. He didn't invite people to Hawaii.
We covered that.
Because
he just
Bobby
got
was
washed up
smart.
there and
He was a smarter chiseler than you.
Yeah, it was very smart for him to do that because he was protecting. But you were doing it too. You were protecting your ego because you didn't want to invite. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say you wanted to invite me, but you didn't want people to turn you down, which is what people don't want.
It's your whole life experience. Everyone has rejected you.
I mean, Patrice, here's the thing. I invited you. When I had that dumb party for my.
I love that, dude. I appreciate. Look, I'm not mad you didn't invite me. My thing, if you can listen, is that I didn't know what that party was. I didn't know that I was supposed to be bringing. I thought it was just I have a party. I didn't know he paid thousands of dollars to Goofy Carolines.
Did he?
They should have paid you, by the way, all the help you've given them.
And these wedding cupcakes that he had.
Not
I
to trash Carolines because they do the right thing, but maybe they should have thrown Voss a bone and said, "Look."
Maybe they did. I don't know what kind of. Did they give you a deal at all, Rich?
No,
of course not. Oh, look at it. Yeah,
I guess
they allowed me to headline.
We didn't know, Rich. I wouldn't have came and not get you some. I'd get you some because you're a friend of mine. But that reception, I didn't know what it was. That's
okay. So I agree. We made a big mistake. Bonnie and I talk about that all the time. That we made a big mistake. We should.
I just feel bad because they were probably hoping to see more faces, familiar faces, and they just weren't there because there was a misunderstanding.
That's what it really was. It wasn't that dumb. Right?
We love you, Voss. Now get lost.
Beat it. So, Opie.
Scram.
Are you, Opie? Do you think you'll cry during the reading of the
He'll cry.
Stuff?
Uh-oh.
He'll cry.
Hey, chill out, man. I'm in the middle of a brew weekend, and you had to ask that question.
He'll cry.